Welcome back to video number 20 of Adventures at 50 No Limit. Today is Monday, January 5th, if that matters to you. Before we begin, I will point out our bankroll is now at $1,317. So we are up a decent amount for the series so far. I did play a session both Saturday and Sunday, which were not recorded. And yeah, so I played two sessions. I won both of them. I believe we left off the last video around 1200. No, 1100. I think it was 1100. Well, I guess we can find out. We have some graphs here. So I downloaded my hands, but the only hands I could get were from January. So that would be the last couple videos we made since January 1st, and then I have Saturday's hands as well, which here's the graph from Saturday. With session that was not filmed. There was also a session Sunday, as I mentioned, but I do not have those hands yet, so we do not have a graph of that. And I believe yesterday we won like $70, so that's unaccounted for in these graphs. So this is yesterday's session. This was a combination of 50 no limit and 25 no limit. I played 2 tables of zone from each stake. We won $106 over 1,500 hands, and this is what the graph looks like. That's from just Saturday's session. Then I guess I have some others that I grabbed quickly. This is all of January. This would be both 50 no limit and 25 no limit. As you can see, we're running pretty well. Especially there's also another $70 not accounted for in this graph. So I think we've played it close to... I'm not sure actually, but in this graph there's 3,000 hands. We're up $258. Pretty good looking graph. And then a breakdown of the 2 different stakes we've been playing. Here's the 50 no limit. This is kind of interesting. As you can see, there's this... No, I mean, it's not that long. It's only over 400 hands, but this little losing streak here. But we are up $150 on January for 50 no limit. Over 1,300 hands. And 25 no limit. I was surprised we're actually doing really well at 25 no limit as well. Up $106 over 1,500 hands there. I think that's all I really wanted to mention. And yeah, we're going to start, I think we're going to start with just 2 tables of 50 no limit on the zone poker at Bovada. Okay. And we might add in the 2 more tables of 25 no limit. I've actually liked doing that because I like getting a lot of hands. I really haven't been able to play that much in general lately. So usually whenever I'm playing, I'm recording. Besides over the weekend, I played a couple sessions in the mornings, and I didn't record those because I had some other stuff going on. But normally when I play, it's usually, or at least the past couple weeks has been only for recording purposes. So I would like to get more hands in general, so I guess that means I'm gonna have to get more hands on video as well. I'm gonna start by raising these pocket 8s over here. And yeah, is that all I wanted to mention? So there's also those graphs didn't account for Sunday session. I mentioned that earlier, so there's like another $70 profit that's not shown in those graphs. So, but we're only up like 200 and I don't know the exact numbers, but basically we lost a lot leading up to the new year. So like the last couple videos going into before New Year's, I'm not sure the video numbers, but both of those videos we were losing. I think we were down like 150 coming into the new year. So if we had a bigger graph, it would be down and then up. So we're definitely up on the series and whatnot, but it's basically the graph is just of our little recent heater since the new year started, which I'm very happy with. And I might bring up the 25. I was going to show, I won't be able to find the graphs because they were just temporary images. I shouldn't have closed them down. But the one thing I noticed on the graphs, which I thought was really cool, is there was a stat I guess you can go back if you want to look at it, but there's a stat of all-in equity, like our average all-in equity. So whenever we got all in, what our average equity was, and I think for the 50 no limit so far in January, it was like over 70%, which I think is really good. And then for 25 no limit, it was like 68 or something like that. But I think both of those are really good percentages of. So basically, whenever we get all in, on average, we're 70% to win that hand. So in general, like as long as you're like any favorite at all, it's great. So like even if we were just 51%, at least we're making, in the long term of things, we're making the right decisions. But we are crushing that at like 70%. So I mean, a lot of it probably has to do with us running well. And with the holidays, I'm sure there were a lot of weaker opponents that we were playing with. But yes, those are some cool stats that I was very happy to see. And I'm very happy with how the new year has started for us, poker-wise. And with that said, I'm going to start these two other 25 no limit tables. And I know the series is titled Adventures at 50 no limit, but I think, I mean, depending on how fast this goes, I really want to get this done, hopefully in January. And with this, I mean just getting bankrolled to 2,000. And I think I would consider that a completed series, even though it wouldn't all be at 50 no limit. But depending on how fast it goes, like if we get there like quickly, hopefully is the case. But if that happens, then I'll probably continue and just try to get to 2,000 in just 50 no limit. So $1,000 profit from just 50 no limit. But if it does take us a little bit longer, then I'm just gonna, as long as we get to 2,000, that's what I will be happy with for this series. Not that I'd stop making videos, but that's just as far as this series goes. I would be happy just getting to 2,000. And I would like to get there by the end of January. So I'm going to try to be playing much more as I've been starting to foretable in these videos. So yeah, I think that's everything. I think we're caught up now. Nothing really interesting so far. I think we 3-bet once with kings, or ace king I mean, in this table, and it looks like we won. I will just start with the min raise of these pocket sevens on the left. I think I will call, given that this player limped. Hopefully he will just come along as well to see the flop. And we time out over here. We do. Opposite. Looks like the heater continues. He does bet. I think I'm going to start with just a call here. I know there is a flush draw potentially as it gets there, but I think calling is fine. And he does check now. I'm going to bet though. I'm not going to check back. I don't want to see that last diamond, and he definitely could have some sort of single diamond hands that are going to call. Okay, and we do win that hand. He does fold. He probably had, or he obviously didn't have much. Gonna fold. There was one hand that I tried to find, not really from an educational standpoint at all, but I timed out. I had pocket twos in this pretty big pot. I guess we're just folding there. And the flop was queen queen 2 versus some guy who I think 3-bet us really small, so most likely he had a strong hand. And I timed out. I notice whenever I'm playing not on video, I'm always like on the internet or browsing. Never really. I mean, I try to focus, and there'll be like little spurts where I'm like 30 minutes of really focused, but then all of a sudden I catch myself. I'm on the internet or on my phone or not paying attention really, or watching videos or something in the background. So so I timed out with these pocket twos when I flopped a full house, and I actually was able to click sit back in, but I clicked it, like I double clicked, and it clicked I'm back or whatever it says, like to sit back in, and then I clicked the fast fold button like right out, like double clicking. So that was pretty brutal. and I couldn't. And then I tried to find the hand the rest of the session. I kept just going into the hand replayer and then going back trying to find it, and I couldn't find it. So, not that it really matters because there's nothing we can do about it, but thought that was pretty interesting. We do flop a set over here, but he just fold to our c-bet on the flop. We just called with 8s on this top left table. I will be calling if he bets. This is not like that scary of a flop for us. And I will be betting for protection. I think we do get value from worse, like random aces that he was raising pre-flop with. So I think he might be calling with those, and we also don't want to give free cards because he still does have a decent amount of equity with 2 overs or any sort of hand really. I think I'm just going to fold. Normally when I 4-table, I tend to tighten up. Not that that's necessarily should have been played, but from the blinds, I think it's okay. I didn't really want to 3-bet, and I don't really like calling from the blinds that often, especially with marginal hands. And I didn't check, of course, what time we started this video, so it's going to be another guess. Going to raise the ace-10 on this bottom right. I'm not sure what I'm going to do up here yet. I think I'm just going to fold from the small blind. This is a pretty good hand, but I like being in it, so I'm just going to fold. Start with the c-bet on the top left. I will be playing these 4s most likely. And yeah, I was also going to mod these tables. I'm surprised I haven't modded them yet to something different than just these standard kind of boring green, whatever color this is. I think it's called emerald. But then I thought I wanted to make like some custom ones. And then I thought maybe it'd be better just to wait. I was going to make a video and show, because I don't know how well known it is, how to mod tables and cards. You can mod like basically everything. So I thought maybe I could turn that into some really short video. And I thought that might be useful, so I'm going to wait off before I do that. Just going to fold this 9-10. So yeah, it's definitely, it's still pretty hectic. It's kind of hectic to be recording and 4-tabling. I noticed myself to be much more hesitant trying to play while talk, whereas there weren't any issues when I'm not recording. Not that it's super easy or like whatever, you should be still trying to pay attention in every play. You should know what you're doing in every play, but it's for some reason definitely more difficult while trying to talk. So we're just going to check the 7s. But yes. Okay, so it's 3:45. I don't think it's been like 10 minutes yet, but I think it's been definitely more than 5. We'll just say 5. So I'll just stop it at 4. How does that sound? Does that sound good? I think I'm just going to fold over here. I think that we definitely could have the best hand, but being however many hands that was, I was like 4-handed. I don't think we're necessarily that strong of a hand, and I don't think that, I mean, it's most likely going to be multi-way to the turn as well. I mean, I think that might be a mistake folding, but I don't hate it. Just going to fold now on this table. That kind of sucks over here. Oh, he did have a flush. But that was definitely a spot, I guess, where we could have bluffed. I don't even remember what happened on the turn, but I assume that it went check-check because I didn't call on the turn. So that's definitely a spot where we could be betting the river. Or probably should be betting the river. And I'm sure we're getting folds a very good percentage of the time. Just going to open these 8s from under the gun. Interesting flop. I think this is a flop where I'm not going to c-bet. I know we c-bet a very high percentage, but given that there's 3 clubs, we don't have a club, and it's 3-handed, and the fact that we're getting let into, I think it's just a fold. Actually, I mean, I think that's fine. I don't think it's as quick of a fold as I did. I mean, maybe that's fine. I think that's fine. Just folding this king 8. Folding that 10-5. I think I also played some tournaments over the weekend. Or was that only one? No. So I think Sunday I definitely just 4-tabled. I played 2 tables of 25-cent, 50-cent, and 2 tables of 10-cent, 25-cent. But I believe Saturday, I think I played a $10 tournament and a $7 tournament while playing 2 tables of 50, no limit, 25-cent, 50-cent. So, yeah, not that matters, but I'm going to start calling this 3-bet here. Interesting flop. We do have the 8 of hearts. I'm going to start with a bet here when he checks to us. Heart does get there, and that definitely could help us. I don't think he would be checking some sort of... I guess we're doing this as a bluff. Maybe we can check with the intention of calling rivers. Maybe let him bluff rivers. He checked really quickly on the flop, and that's kind of interesting after he 3-bet on an ace-high flop. That's typically a spot, even if he doesn't have an ace, I would assume he'd be c-betting a very, very high percentage at the time. He does bet this river. So, unless he flops some sort of monster, like maybe a set, or if he flopped a flush, I think I'm going to call here just because... That's probably a bad call. No, it's fine. I quickly change that. So yeah, I thought with him checking instantly like that, like I would assume he would bet a vulnerable hand like that. That really doesn't want to see a heart. And yeah, so then on the turn, I was going to bet, or I thought about betting, but I decided to check because I figured, I mean, like, our hand is not... Like, if he doesn't have a heart, his hand's not going to improve on the river. I mean, unless the board pairs and he gets a full house. But based on the way he played it, I would have assumed he doesn't have, like, a set or that strong of a hand at all. So we're basically checking to let him bluff rivers. Given that our hand is pretty much set in stone, we're not going to improve our hand. He's not going to improve his hand. And by us betting, I think we just get folds a lot. And I will call this... 3-bet over here, just going to fold this 8-9. I think we called, we obviously called the pre-flop, he must have raised. I'm going to start by call, I'm not going to fold here on this queen-eye flop. Of course it wouldn't be an episode without Photo and Prim interfering. I think I'm going to call here. We do have a gut shot, we do have 2 overs. He did 3-bet us from the blinds, which is... somewhat scary. I'm going to call again over here, and he just shoves. I'm going to fold at this point. I'm pretty positive. Yeah, obviously I'm just going to fold over here. I mean, he did 3-bet from the blinds, which is pretty strong. I think this is a spot where we could be bluffing. Like, I think bluffing would not necessarily be bad here. But no, I think that's fine, actually, because I take that back. Because I guess what we'd be bluffing is queens that were beating us, but I doubt a queen is going to be folding on that river. So I take back what I said. I guess we're calling with the 7s.